Hello again. I promised to do another couple of videos. I've had technical issues, so that's the reason. So unfortunately they've been lost, so I have had proper technical problems. Nevertheless, we start again, and what I wanted to pose for those people that believe that there is no threat by losing our privacy is, I just wanted to ask the question: how much surveillance is enough? Maybe 30 years ago we had hardly any surveillance, really. Any surveillance was targeted, because that's how it was done, because there were no mass surveillance systems. There was no CCTV, there was no automatic number plate recognition, and of course the internet didn't exist. But now we've moved into this information age, and for the sake of convenience and online shopping and all this kind of stuff, which is all very convenient and quite impressive, we have got to a stage where we haven't considered the surveillance that we're under. And British people tend to take on face value what we're told, which I'm beginning to believe is a real fault of ours. Possibly because we've had relatively benign governments before, up until, and we still do. I'm not saying that we have a totalitarian government at all. I'm not saying that at all. You know, we still have most of the architecture of a free, liberal democracy. But technology is engineering our free country out from under our feet, and we're not taking enough notice of it. Edward Snowden has highlighted what most people kind of assumed anyway, that the security service are listening to our telephone calls and emails and everything we do on our smartphone. What's most shocking is not that Edward Snowden has revealed it, but our acceptance of it, our resigned acceptance of the fact that we know they're watching us, and there's a feeling that there's nothing we can do about it. Well, there's nothing we can do about it because we haven't tried. You know, we're too in love with our computers and all the convenience that they bring with them, and smartphones and all the rest of it. And so there's never really been a debate. So I'm now asking the question: how much surveillance is enough? We already know that there are between 4 to 6 million CCTV cameras in this country. We know that the automatic number plate recognition system is tracking everybody's movements in their cars on every A road and motorway. And now, because phone calls are overwhelmingly from mobile to mobile, we know that they listen to all the phone calls as well. I mean, they say they're not, but then Edward Snowden has blown it out of the water. That's what they are doing. You know, and now they're trying to bring in legislation to make it legal that they're doing it. The fact that we're doing it already illegally is neither here nor there. So I'm just wondering how much more surveillance we can take. because it seems like it's an awful lot already. And it's got to the stage that, we are building a total control network so that everything we do, everything we say, everywhere we go is recorded. We don't have a CCTV camera on our front doors. But I get the feeling if the government started to do that, we just take it. And on every back door. And then in every living room. And every kitchen. And every bedroom. Every bathroom. I would say it wouldn't be the bedroom. But then there's an awful lot of domestic violence takes place in the bedroom. So that will be the justification. And then we'll find out that some terrorists have been mixing up chemicals in the bath. So they say, well, we've got to have them in the bathroom as well, just in case. Would that be too much? The trouble is we take on face value what the government and security services tell us. They say we need this stuff. We need it to fight terrorism. It's always terrorism, always terrorism. And there's a feeling that one mustn't complain about this because the police and the security services and the governments are all looking after us. And to complain about it is at best bad form and at worst suspicious. Like we're doing something we shouldn't be. But our legal system operates on the basis of people are innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. Now why is it like that? It's like that because there is a general assumption in a decent society that the general population, the general citizenry, are just going about their daily lawful business. And the default position is that we're all innocent. If we do something which is very suspicious, then that assumption is put under question. And that's the way it should be. The way it should be is that we are assumed all to be innocent unless we've done something to compromise that. Now if you ask most people, is that a good principle on which to run a legal system? Most people would agree that it is. But what we've got now is we've got a system where we are all under observation all the time. So we are, in effect, we're all under suspicion. So that balance has shifted. We're all under suspicion unless we can prove that we're not guilty. Because that's what surveillance does. It makes criminals out of all of us. At worst. I mean, at the very best, what surveillance does is it turns us all into children who cannot be trusted to do the right thing. It infantilises us. And particularly with that very pernicious phrase, if you've nothing to hide, you've nothing to fear. Inside that is a very nasty implied threat that if you have something to hide, then we can find you. It doesn't matter what that thing is. You know, I mean, if it is something illegal, then I would fully expect the police and the security services to go after somebody they considered to have done something illegal. But what they're saying is, we're watching you, so don't step out of line. And that is very, very sinister. And it's a very sinister, like I said, the government is not sinister. The government is still a relatively free, democratic institution, you know, accountable and all the rest of it. But the infrastructure we're building is the infrastructure of a totalitarian state. And governments go bad. We're handing all of our power to them. We're handing all of our privacy to them for the sake, supposedly, of security. It is, to coin a cliche, it is Big Brother. That's exactly what it is. The government is saying, we'll look after you. Just let us poke into every little detail of your life and we'll look after you. If you're not going to let us do that, we can't look after you. It's kind of like a bribe, really. And it certainly doesn't make us free. So how much is enough? Because the security services, they are just interested in security, so they'll take all the information that they can and they'll keep taking it with the same justification. Terrorism, national security, crime prevention. It's always the same. There is no limit to the amount of power they will take. And we have to stop that. You know, we can do our best to stop it technologically, through things we do on our computers and anti-surveillance techniques, but the most important way to do it is to combat it politically and legally. We must stop taking their word for it that we need this. We don't need it. I mean, there are several whistleblowers from the American National Security Agency who said that they've taken on so much information on the American public that they miss things. They miss the Boston Marathon bomber. They missed numerous other things. They're piling too much information on top of what they're supposed to be doing, so they can't find the stuff that they need to find. They can't find their terrorists because there's too much data and they're missing things. So even on their own justification, they're coming up short. We need to make a decision. Do we want to live in a free country? Or do we want to live in a supposedly very safe, open prison? Because that's what Britain is becoming. Think about it.